Hello, hello. Now, as those of you who watch my stream know, yesterday I unlocked the Des Moines, and as you probably saw from my first couple of games, I've been really enjoying the ship, and I've been considering it superbly powerful. I thought the ship was supposed to be weak. At least that's what I've been told about how it's so pathetic and blah 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 blah. But holy shit, like the games I've been having in the ship have been absolutely ridiculous. I think my first or second game. This is my seventh, or this is maybe my seventh or my eighth game. But like even on the second game, or was it the first? I already got 180k damage done in the ship. It just seems absolutely monstrous, and I'm telling the Shimakaze I'm coming since he's fighting off a Fletcher here. But I feel like I have no idea. People have been telling me the ship is supposed to be so weak and so underwhelming, and I feel like it's a goddamn monster. Like, I mean, sure, it has the arcs, but anyone who's played through the Baltimore already knows about US US cruiser arcs. But this ship is like a Baltimore on steroids with like even longer range anti-air and absolutely insane DPM. Of course, DPM doesn't mean everything, but just like with the Baltimore, you have to be more positionally aware than you have to be, for example, with the Ibuki. Like the Ibuki has fairly flat trajectories, which then get super pumped with the Zao, which when you get even flatter and better guns. So you can just like take pot shots at people and snipe people. But with the Des Moines, it's all about sneaking around and then suddenly opening up with your huge DPM and melting people. Kind of with the Baltimore, it was kind of trying to burst people with your sudden AP bursts. But overall, this ship, like, well, I'll start off with the strength of this ship is obviously the massive damage it has. The armor on it is quite good. Like, if you angle yourself, you will usually limit the damage you take very significantly. And of course, the anti-air, it's insane on it. Like the range, it doesn't have as much DPS as the Baltimore did, but the range is like I only have one mod that improves it, and my range is 7.2 kilometers on my most damaging anti-air aura. Oh god, this is so nasty. If a DD accidentally shows himself to you, you see my reload, it's just like damage, bam, 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 bam. It's non-stop constant damage. His modules are breaking, his shit is falling down. Now he finally got away. Did he? Yeah, he looks like he got away. I should have maybe spammed into the smoke there, but the fact that I'm looking at the minimap and I got another Fletcher showing up from this side is what made me turn around. Now, this Fletcher, I don't really... Why is he picking a fight with me? Like, now he should stop shooting and smoke up on Leggett or something. He should not continue fighting me. Maybe he thinks he can avoid my shells from 8 kilometers. But the thing is with the Des Moines, it's so hard to avoid all the shells, because first of all you get 6 hard-hitting shells coming from you from the front turrets. And then the reload. As you can see, he barely has time to avoid one shell or one volley, and the other one is already basically in the air. And his modules are breaking, his shit is falling apart. Okay, he used his repair apparently now to break it. I think he was hoping I would eat all those torps, but of course I turned towards him as soon as I saw him coming. I didn't risk using my back turret at all, because I knew there were torps coming, since there's a Shima here as well. So that's why I'm basically sailing in a straight line, or well, not in a straight line, but basically presenting a small target. But that's how quickly the Fletcher melted. Like this is a DD nightmare. And I'm honestly very surprised that someone picked a fight with me, which is someone writing in chat. But I'm actually kind of grateful for it, because it shows how absolutely murderous you are against the destroyers. This is like a Cleveland on steroids. This is a T10 Cleveland, that if a DD picks a fight, you just get hammered with shell after shell. And the difference between this and the Cleveland is that each of these shells do 2.8k damage, like potentially, and your fire chance with the Demolition Expert perk is a whooping 17%. So the damage you get is really brutal, and that's why I think this is a DD nightmare. And personally, when I play DD, if Des Moines is like 12 kilometers or more away, then I'm not too worried. But if you're within 10 kilometers of a Baltimore, then you start feeling the pain, because then the arcs are nasty enough to him to just pump in damage into you, and as a DD you simply melt away. Anyway, well, now I got to show a bit of the DPM. Obviously, I activated my defensive anti-air briefly there to snipe a spotter plane, just to basically make myself harder to detect. Because another strength of this cruiser is that with the concealment expert perk and concealment module, you can get your concealment down to 10.6 kilometers, which is quite nice. It's actually a very small concealment, a very low concealment basically, so it's very useful. Trying to take some pot shots at people while I'm angling my ship around. The firing angles on the ship are also great, much better than on the Zao. Like with firing angles, I mean the angle at which you can turn yourself towards an enemy ship while still bringing all your guns to bear. So basically, especially when sailing forward, you can present a very, very small broadside while still bringing all your guns to bear. And compared to Zao, the ship also had the advantages of being able to charge straight at the ship. Much like the Yamato has an advantage over the Montana when you charge straight forward, is that you can go straight at the ship and you'll bring 66% of your DPM to bear. Whereas the Zao, if he tries to do the same, he loses half his damage, and that's quite brutal. So in a nose-to-nose fight, the DPM and the angling of the Des Moines becomes quite nasty, and it basically forces the Zao to use HE. The AP wasn't. This guy has broken his engine. You see the puffing smoke coming out of the exhaust or the smokestack? That's a sign that his engine is broken. The engine is broken and it's not repairing. That tells me that his repair is on cooldown. So obviously I instantly switch to HE and I just start spamming. And this is where, even though I'm trying to get to the superstructure, I'm shooting a bit too much to the front, constantly adjusting myself slightly to the left. And at this point you can see I'm almost able to keep 3 volleys in the air at the same time. Like 2 volleys are in the air now, and just as this lands, my next one is already on the way, and that's really, really brutal. And right now I'm outside of stealth range, or outside of detection range, meaning I'm basically stealth firing, just like I do on Zao. And it's very, very strong. They don't have any DD spotting us, hence the ability. Now at this point I take a look at the composition, and I notice that they only have cruisers left. It's fairly close. It's one of us just died, so it's 7 versus 7. But they only have cruisers left. And one thing that Des Moines is superbly nasty against, it's cruisers. That recent buff to US AP, US cruiser AP, the penetration, means that you're just brutal at pumping out AP damage. So as soon as I see that the only thing they have left is that they basically don't have any battleships left, that's the point where I basically turn my ship around and I'm gonna go full YOLO and charge them, because I'm a goddamn Des Moines, that's why. I don't give a shit. The thing is, you're not even scared of cruisers in this ship, because the cruiser has to turn around and start legging it when you start getting close. I mean, they can pump out damage at you from range, but when you start getting close, they either run or they die, because both your AP and your HE are very, very damaging because of your DPM. I think this ship has the highest AP DPM in the entire game. So that's why if someone gets caught close to you, he just melts. Like I showed it a couple times yesterday on the stream, when I just charged down some cruiser, or basically I ambushed some cruiser. I came around the corner and something like an Ataga or Mogami or something, and he just melted. He avoided and turned and tried to do everything, but he just instantly melted, and he could do nothing but panic and try to flee. And you see, as soon as I get closer and the arcs get smaller, meaning it's easier to start landing shots, suddenly the damage goes up. It's like the way the damage ramps up on the ship is really nutty, from you being an annoyance at range to suddenly turning into an absolute monster when you get closer. I think that's why a lot of people underestimate the Des Moines, especially when fighting one, is like you see him spamming shots at you, and you think, well, he's not really doing much, is he? Like this is easy, this is simple. I can tank this damage, and then suddenly the damage starts ramping up, and it's like shows no sign of letting go. It just keeps ramping up and up and up, and suddenly you die. Like I killed that other guy, he melted to all my volleys in the air, and this Atago. You can't go this close to Des Moines, you just instantly melt as well. And it's so easy to hunt down the Citadel on the ship as well, because 6-second reload. It's so easy to readjust your aim constantly. That was 2 kills. Oh, I got a double strike as well, that's always fun. Of course he torped, I already knew that, hence why I started moving. If an Atago goes broadside to you that close, it's obvious he's going to torp. Like this rune, suddenly it goes from not much damage taken to boom boom boom, he starts melting. Oh, a Zhao showed up. I turn hard left towards the Zhao to angle myself towards him, because he AP volleyed me really hard. I didn't get that kill, that's a shame. But this Zhao obviously AP volleyed me goddamn hard, so I'm turning towards him. He's almost full HP. You see, he has 34k HP, I have 12k. So at this point, as a Zhao, you usually go, well, this is an easy kill, but I'm so close. I'm so close on my Des Moines, so I can just start pumping out this damage and this damage and this damage. And he's 34. That guy didn't even hit him. It's just me doing damage. That 34k health he had, where did it go? These other guys are barely hitting him. It's my damage that's just so brutal. And he did kill me, considering he got the jump on me, but he was almost full HP, and I still took him with me. That's basically the power of Des Moines. Holy shit, that achievement spamming bottom left. The Des Moines is quite fun indeed. That was my Kraken Unleashed as well. And just the damage is what makes this ship so fun to play. Like, if you like dealing damage, just pumping out this insane DPM, then the Des Moines, you will enjoy the Des Moines, especially if you manage to get close like I did there. Like this Zhao, he knew he was going to kill me in a couple of volleys, so he thought he could angle himself against other ships, but the damage was just way too much for him. And this guy says, I've said Des Moines is quite fun, but then he said, yes, but you need to have backup. Alone it's not fun. Well, I thought it was pretty fun charging up the mid alone against their entire team. Anyways, that game ended, and hello, 730k credits. That's quite nice. 178 hits. I could have gotten 6 kills as well. Oh, that's almost 4k base XP. Like, the Shimakazes and Yamatos, they're scratching their heads wondering what the hell just happened this game. Like, where did all the XP go? And damage wise, what's this, 165k maybe? I think it's about 165k. Like, that's not even my top damage. And you saw how short this game was? This was 14 minutes, and I did 165k damage. Like, holy shit. Like, I thought this ship was supposed to be bad. This is right after the game ended. Actually, I got 50 flags from that game, since it's just early in the morning and I just started playing, and that was like my 3rd Des Moines game today. Anyway, let's move on to modules. Well, not much to talk about since it's a T10 ship, so by default you already have everything you need. Upgrade wise, main battery, of course. You don't want your guns being damaged, you want to pump out DPM all the time. Second here, range for your anti-air. Your anti-air is already absolutely nuts. Basically, with this mod, you get 7.2 kilometer range. Plus, wait, am I using? No, I'm using fire chance, yeah. 7.2 kilometer range, which is absolutely nuts on this anti-air. Means you can start basically you can activate your defensive AA at 5 kilometers already, and they will be within basically your max DPM, well, close to your max DPM, for another 2.2 if they try to run away. So it's just a brutal anti-air. And third, range. You want to be able to pump out damage from max range. I briefly tried with the AA, but it's just not worth it. Like, I considered this one, but in the end, the range, just like on the Zhao, the range is absolutely superior. So no argument here. go for the range. Here, once again, I'm using this one because the other two are pretty pointless. It's not that this one is so good, but it's more that the other two are so pretty close to useless on a cruiser. Here, there's some arguments here. Some people like to use steering gear, and I've been contemplating using steering gear to lower this from 8.6 to 20% away. So yeah, it's 1.7 away from that, but I don't know. I don't know if it's in the end worth it. I mean, personally, I prefer reducing the fire because I feel in the Des Moines, because you're a rather big ship. This ship is basically battleship sized. Sorry about the math, by the way. I pretty much just woke up, so you'll have to excuse my very slow thinking. Anyway, I think personally, when I play this, so many DDs start pumping out shells at me. Simply because this is such a large and clunky ship. Like, if you compare this size to the ZA somehow it feels sleeker and stealthier. Well, it is stealthier, but I feel like the Des Moines, especially since you see how high it rides in the water. If you see this broadside, how high it rides in the water compared to the ZA, which is much smaller and flatter. I feel like I get a bunch of HE damage on me all the time, so I prefer to reduce the fire. Because this is basically a flat out minus 15% fire damage taken upgrade. Very simple. So you can use either one is fine, I think, but I just personally prefer this one. It's entirely up to you what you choose. And last, of course, stealth. Very simple. You want your concealment down to 10.6, which you get by using the camo as well. The camo that reduces it by another 0.3 or 0.03. Anyway, with these combines you can stealth shoot as well, somewhat comfortably. Not as easily as on the ZA, but it works. And stealth shooting on a cruiser is always nice. And finally, Captain Perks. I actually have an 18-point captain on this guy. So some of these are basically just point dumps, like this mod is pretty much, this point is pretty much pointless on Des Moines, since your reload is already so fast. But there's not really much else to use it on either. Anyways, priorities first. Situation awareness, absolute must-have on a cruiser, especially on a T10 cruiser. Turret traverse, well, considering how much you use your turrets and how garbage all the others are for you, it's gonna be very simple. You want turret traverse. Third one, superintendent. You get another defensive AA, you get another fighter plane, and most importantly of all, you get another heal. Very important. Here, I went for demolition expert because I end up spamming so much HE. You could increase your AA by another 20% to make it even more ridiculous, but personally I prefer the fire chance, as it bumps you up to a nice 70%? Yeah, 70% fire chance, which is quite hefty considering your rate of fire. So you end up getting a lot of fires on people. And finally, of course, concealment expert. This is I'm pretty much going to use this on all cruisers and probably all DDs. I will probably even respec my wood alloy. I've been considering it already, getting concealment expert, because this is such a good perk. Honestly, I think this entire tree is pretty imbalanced, because this is what every carrier takes, and this is what pretty much everyone else except for battleships take. And battleships, well, they might take jack of all trades if they got the points, but usually it's better to just get like 3 times 3 in the third cap. Anyway, that was my Des Moines commentary. I just got this ship yesterday, but already I feel like people have been underestimating this ship greatly, or I don't know what people have been doing, but the ship seems absolutely beastly to me. I've been having such fun games with it and just been enjoying it. It might be that I love cruisers and I love Baltimore, hence why I love the Des Moines, but very strong ship, and I feel like, well, I've been goddamn lied to. Anyways, thanks to everyone who watched, of course, and I hope you enjoyed my small commentary.